It's one date that reshaped the way American cars look, survive a crash, and live in our culture. From Detroit's rebirth to federal bumper law and a DeLorean hitting 88 miles an hour, October 21st has receipts. If you love deep-cut car history, hit like and let's roll. There's some forgotten gold in here. Law of the Bumper, October 21st, 1972. Picture America in the early 1970s. Gas is cheap, chrome is king, and parking lot fender benders are quietly costing consumers billions. On October 21, 1972, President Richard Nixon signs the Motor Vehicle Information and Cost Savings Act. On paper, it sounds dry. In steel and urethane, it changes the face of the American car. The law empowers regulators to set bumper performance standards designed to cut repair costs from low-speed impacts. An idea as unsexy as it is transformative. The rulemaking framework meshes with the already issued FMVSS 215 Exterior Protection Standard, which had taken effect the previous month for the 1973 model year, demanding that a passenger car's bumper protect safety-critical items from damage in 5-mile-per-hour front and 2.5-mile-per-hour rear barrier tests. By 1974, the bar tightens further, standardizing bumper heights and impact angles. The ripple is immediate. Bigger, chunkier bumpers march onto showrooms, telescoping shocks hide behind license plates, and designers redraw rear ends when tail lamps can no longer live in the bumper. From an owner's perspective, the promise is savings. Fewer smashed headlamps and punctured fuel systems from city taps and parallel parking kisses. From a stylist's perspective, it's a revolution. Some cars adapt gracefully, others gain battering ram chic. Decades later, agency evaluations and period analyses debate whether the later relaxations of the rule saved money overall, but there's no debate about the visual legacy. The 5-mile-per-hour bumper becomes a timestamp you can spot across a parking lot. What do you think? Did the 5-mile-per-hour era ruin styling or save your wallet? Drop a comment and fight it out politely. A new Ford era, October 21st, 1927. Half a century earlier, October 21st was also a turning point in Dearborn. After killing the Model T and idling plants for months to retool, Ford finally ushers its successor onto the line. Archival records show a Ford Model A Tudor on the Rouge plant assembly line, photographed October 21st, 1927, a visual proof point that the rebirth is real. The Model A brings modernity to the masses, a 40-horsepower 4, a conventional 3-speed gearbox, mechanical brakes on all 4 corners, and, famously, safety glass. Public introduction waits until December, but by then the crowds are so intense that cities deploy police just to manage traffic around dealership windows. The Model A becomes a Depression-era lifeline for Ford, chalking up millions of sales by 1931. It doesn't just replace a car, it resets expectations for what a people's Ford can be. The last Scout rolls, October 21st, 1980. Fast forward to October 21st, 1980, Fort Wayne, Indiana, a Tahitian Red Scout II, air-conditioned Sierra Tan interior, thumps down the line. It is the final international Harvester Scout ever built. After more than 2 decades as one of the vehicles that invented the SUV idea for regular folks, the Scout bows out under the weight of strikes, cash crunches, and a brutal market. The last truck's story, ordered for board member Mary Garst, later rescued and restored by historian Mike Bolton, reads like an American industrial epilogue in steel and sheet metal. Enthusiasts remember the Scout for its utilitarian honesty and breadth. From SSII trail specials to long-roof Traveler family rigs, even a brief flirtation with diesel power at the end. It was both a peer and a foil to the Bronco and CJ. When that final VN clears the line on this date, it closes a chapter that modern brands are racing to reopen. Ask anyone watching the Scout Motors revival chatter today. The ember never went out, it just needed oxygen. Which old-school SUV do you wish had never died? Scout, first-gen Bronco, or something more obscure? Tell us below. Culture at 88 mile per hour, October 21st, 2015. If there's a car culture holiday, it's Back to the Future Day. October 23rd, 2015, the date Marty and Doc land in the future, in Part 2, the DeLorean taps a vein of American imagination few cars ever touch. Governments get in on the fun. Transport Canada issues a tongue-in-cheek recall for a defective flux capacitor, advising repairs by a certain Dr. Emmett Brown, its official whimsy, and a marker for how deeply a movie car can burrow into national identity. That same week, the line between science fiction and driveway reality blurs. With Tesla's autopilot freshly released, Alex Roy, Carl Reese, and Dina Mastracci set a coast-to-coast benchmark in a semi-autonomous Model S covering 2,995 miles in 57 hours, 48 minutes. An EV and autonomy milestone that wraps on October 21 in Manhattan. The Drive's behind-the-scenes account captures the fatigue, the data, and the audacity of trying this right then in the glow of future day. And here's one more October 21st link between screen and street. On October 21st, 2011, the documentary Revenge of the Electric Car opens in theaters, pivoting the EV story from eulogies to comeback arcs with GM, Nissan, and Tesla as protagonists. A decade later, the world it sketched is our daily traffic. Foundations, October 23rd, 1897. Long before flux capacitors and 5-mile-per-hour bumpers, October 21st was already on the American auto calendar. On October 21st, 1897, Louis Semple Clark and partners incorporate what becomes Autocar, the oldest surviving motor vehicle brand in the Western Hemisphere. Within 2 years, Autocar is building what many cite as America's first commercially available truck. And by the early 1900s, it is a fixtures maker of severe-duty rigs, a lineage that carries to today. The seed of America's vocational truck industry was planted on this very date. Legacy. Why October 21st matters. Count the touch points. Regulation that shaped design. A Ford reboot that reset America's mass market expectations. An SUV swan song that previewed today's nostalgia-charged revivals. And a movie car that turned a date on a time circuit into a folk holiday. Even as real-world autonomy and EVs race to meet it, October 21st isn't one story, it's a spine through American automotive life. The bumper law teaches that policy can sculpt aesthetics as surely as clay. The Model A reminds us that retooling pain can birth renewal. The Scout's last offline shows that icons can hibernate. And Back to the Future Day proves that car culture is culture, full stop. If you're into episodes like this, subscribe for our next This Day deep dive and tell us which date we should tackle next. Did you know? A photo in the Henry Ford's collection stamps the Model A assembly line on October 21st, 1927, a day before some sources say the first Model A engine was completed. A neat reminder that factory calendars and launch calendars aren't the same clock. The 1973-74 bumper rules didn't just add mass. They killed bumper-integrated tail lamps on many cars because lighting in the bumper could no longer survive the impact test undamaged. As always, there is a list of resource links in the description below. Please feel free to visit them for additional information about the stories selected for inclusion in this video. Hey, it looks like you made it through another video. Since you came this far, here is a video selected just for you by YouTube for your viewing pleasure next. Go ahead and click it. You know you want to. I'm Lauren, and I'll see you on the next one.